Please welcome the first man to desert from NATO forces, Mr. Iain Lee. Yeah.
What is it good for?
Absolutely
Nothing.
Yeah.
What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing.
Thanks a lot, guys. It's not a war in the news today. There are other stories. And here to bring you them and the latest from Kosovo in his own condensed version is Tommy Vance and his news slam.
Wednesday, March the 24th, and Kosovo goes pear-shaped. After months of intricate planning, Tommy Blair announces that NATO has a single, clear and attainable objective: drop some bombs on some people somewhere. Good plan, Tommy. From a bombing mission to extradition and the Lord's order Pinochet to stay and face charges of mass murder. It makes me sick. Picking on an old man? Somebody's granddad? We all love our granddads. Granddad, we love you. You murdering bastard! From a high man broken to a broken hymen. And underage pregnancies are on the up. It's official. Young British girls are the loosest in Europe. It's absolutely shocking. Just imagine young girls engaging in sexual intercourse. I'm sorry. I seem to have lost my train of thought. God, I love this job.
Fantastic. That's Tommy Vance there with his news slam. Now, I've sent these two media news-hungry tarts on their way through the papers. What stories have you found for us?
Well, I saw this morning, and I think it's just for the newspapers to put in pictures of scantily clad ladies, because after years of in-depth research, a team of American scientists and psychologists had claimed that women who wear small bikinis are likely to have a small IQ.
So, I agree with that, but so their whole job was just to sit around watching birds in bikinis?
Apparently so.
Does this mean that fat ladies are more intelligent than skinny ones? Just by nature of the size of their bikinis?
Well, if they wear a big bikini, then apparently they're more intelligent.
I've got to ask, what size bikini do you wear, Crook?
Medium?
I think it means you're a twat. Yeah. What else have you seen?
Blue Water, the new shopping centre near Dartford in Kent has had its first cases of car park rage.
Yeah. Easy. Now, you're from Dartford, aren't you?
Yeah.
What do you think of Blue Water?
Well, I think it's going to strip all the character out of Dartford. And Dartford without character, it's just going to make it so dull and uninteresting.
Bit like Dartford now. Ever been to Dartford, Daisy?
No, but I think I'm going to go to Blue Water, because apparently you're only 30 feet away from cappuccino.
Sounds absolutely fantastic. Thank you, my two friends, for not really looking at the papers, you lazy sods. Hey! Stop! Because what do you two think you're doing? Don't you know we're at war with Kosovo? This is not a joke. Listen, what you both don't seem to realise is that our enemy in this real war is a real threat. He is evil. He is genocidal junkie Slobodan Milosevic. And he's a clever man. He's deviously disguised himself to not look like a dictator. Watch this. Are we getting a clue? He resembles the famous dictator with half a moustache. Are you scared? I am. This man needs a kicking. But who's going to give it to him? Daisy?
There's only one man for the job. Grant Mitchell. He quit EastEnders to join up just this morning as soon as he heard that there was a Rambo. An inspiration to us all. Grant Mitchell is the perfect fighting force. A, he's not afraid to stick one on his brother. B, he's not afraid to stick one on his two wives. And C, he runs a pub. He's brilliant. Let's just hope that his time in Kosovo will help cure the inner demons he still has from the Falklands. Good luck, bruv.
Grant Mitchell needs your support in his one-man battle in the fight against evil. And we really can't stress enough how evil this shit is. But if you still have any difficulties visualising this seemingly normal man as a real threat, try thinking of him like this. Come on, somebody else's country needs you. Later in the show, hiya Daisy, see how Ali G gets on when he discovers the joys of opera.
Hear me now, ride the punani, ride the punani.
But before that, our survey said... That's from the popular game show Family Fortunes. But who does those surveys that provide the answers for funny man Les Dennis? Well, I don't really know. He's a great impressionist. Not many people know that. Actually, I do know the answer to that question. It's a man called Ricky Gervais. And we sent him out today to get some more answers based on today's news stories.
A Royal Navy warrant officer has been in court this week defending allegations that he sexually harassed the Navy's first woman helicopter crew member. What kind of sexual banter is acceptable in the workplace? Would you call a woman darling?
Yeah.
Yeah? Sweetie chunks?
Yeah.
Gobbler?
Goblin.
Gobbler?
A gobbler.
Or the gobbler? Leaving round Polaroids of yourself?
Depends on what the content of each picture is.
Oh, just you wanking. He denied allegations that he used explicit sexual terminology to her. Can you give me a nickname for the female genitalia?
Honey?
That's the top answer. Yeah. Pussy, yeah, one of the top answers. Fanny was top. Well, shall I go through a few and you tell me if you've heard of them?
Yeah,
Well, top answer's Fanny, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Minge. No. Okay. What about Nana's special pocket? No, nor have I. It's been a terrible week for British comedy. First Rod Hull, Ernie Wise, and Brian Connolly. No, he's saying Wonderwall on the National Lottery. Who would you like to see die next?
Comedian.
Yeah.
Or Bernard Manning.
It's probably a good bet, isn't he?
Davidson. What's his name?
Jim Davidson.
Yeah.
Jim Davidson.
There we go. Ricky Gervais touched there on sexual harassment at work. What do we think about sexual harassment?
Yeah, it's the 90s, why not? Let's go for it.
Come on, imagine if I was in the office and every time I walked past you I felt your bum.
Daisy, don't play games in Mackenzie's mind. He's only simple. But listen, there are some times at work when it's fine for cross-genders to touch and have physical contact without it being harassment.
Can you give me an example?
OK, you've had some good news at work, so I'm going to gently pat you on the shoulder and say, well done, Daisy, you've done well.
No, that's fine.
OK, you've had some bad news at work. Come here, give you a nice hug, and I comfort you like that. That's fine, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all right.
You're feeling horny, so I finger
That's
you.
wholly inappropriate. Anyway, thank you both very much. Ooh la la!
Earlier, we saw Ricky Gervais playing his own version of Family Fortunes, but one family have been playing it for real. The Sharifs from Preston. They were found guilty yesterday of a £3 million insurance and benefits scam. The fraud was the brainchild of Dad Sharif Mohammed, who led the family to claim they were sick and injured after a string of fake accidents. How do they do it? Let's find out as we play Family Fraud Tunes. Here's Mr. Big, Mohammed, and here's his son, Zulfikar. Now, Zulfikar, you made a £1.5 million insurance claim saying a car accident had left you in a permanently vegetative state. But was that correct? No, our survey said the whole thing was a fake. The truth is, Zulfikar deliberately threw himself from the bonnet of his dad's Nissan Bluebird, very economical saloon, and far from being a vegetable, he was videoed working out in a gym and clowning around with the elephants at Blackpool Zoo. And, hey, just like elephants, the DSS never forget. Nice try. OK, the next one. Daughter Razia, you claimed a car crash left you a wheelchair-bound cripple. But is that correct? No, our survey said, in fact, it was a fake. The truth is, Razia threw herself onto the bonnet of her dad's Honda Integra and was later videoed taking an afternoon stroll and clowning with the elephants at Blackpool Zoo. OK, one life left. 11 o'clock show family, get ready to steal. Start conferring. Here we go. Last question. Daughter Pauline, you claimed that you got a broken neck after your clumsy dad drove you into a lamppost. And if it's up there, I'll give you the money myself. No, it's just another scam. You know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fakes it. Fix it, fakes it, it's a pun. But don't worry, we can fiddle this game, and you've won tonight's star prize, this spacious Toyota Corolla. It's a lovely car, and you can hurl yourselves onto the bonnet for one last time before it whisks you away for a luxury stay in one of the country's leading prisons. You'll be right at home there. Let's hear it for the Sharifs and their family fortune. After the break, American bloke Rich Hall comes to us live from New York and find out how Ali G gets along at the Royal Opera House. Before that, you may remember that our exclusive 11 o'clock show betting service gave Nicky Campbell odds of 50 to 1 to become the first mayor of London. And just 1 week later, the odds came down to 40 to 1. There is a clear wave of public support for Campbell, so the 11 o'clock show has decided to launch a campaign to get Nicky Campbell elected the first mayor of our famous capital city. You know it makes sense. To get our campaign started, we sent out our very own New Deal boy, Daniel Demetriou, to drum public support up. See you after the break.
Ring the bell for Nicky Campbell. Ring the bell for Nicky Campbell. Vote Nicky Campbell for mayor, sir? Certainly not. Nicky Campbell for mayor. Nicky Campbell for mayor, sir. Animal anyway, that bloke. Is what, sir? An animal. Go, Nicky, go, Nicky, go! Nicky Campbell, my choice, London's choice.
I think so. Welcome back to the 11 o'clock show. And if you want to get behind our Ring the Bell for Nicky Campbell campaign for mayor, then buy a bell and ring it outside your house every night at 11. Hopefully by the end of the series, the nation will be ringing with the sound of ringing bells.
And I'll be ringing my bell too, Iain. Hooray, Patsy is up the duff.
Foolishly, Miss Kensett allowed herself to be mounted by Mr. Gallagher, and now we can look forward to 20 years of the tabloids being full of baby Ringo. But the 11 o'clock show can nip this media bud in the bud by showing you now the life of Ringo Mackenzie Gallagher.
As you can see, Ringo is arrested aged 2 for snorting coke and glassing a photographer. Age 5, the Mirror leaks the Ringo Phoenix Spice pregnancy scare. Phoenix is seen at an abortion clinic but claims the whole thing's just wind. Age 7, Ringo's father dies in a drug-related tram incident. The subsequent Liam Gallagher report brings about radical reforms of tram policy. 6 months later, hooray, Patsy marries Lenny Kravitz. 2 years down the line, his beloved stepfather Lenny dies in a 1,000,000 electric guitar accident. Ringo's in and out of rehab throughout puberty, then marries Paula Yates. They have a lovely daughter, Chickpea. Then, aged 14, Ringo dies, a nation mourns.
But what would the unfortunate spawn of a simple-minded Pop-Tart and a spade-faced, swaggering, coke-convicted chimp look like? Well, you don't have to wait for the baby photos because I've been busy with my crayons creating this. Our first glimpse of the baby Ringo.
Oh, what a monster.
Now it's time to join Oscar winner, former matinee idol, ex-husband of Elizabeth Taylor and personal trainer to Gwyneth Paltrow, Rich Hall. How are you, Rich?
I'm fine, Ian. How are you, you big stack of butter beans?
You couldn't care less about me. Now, what have you been up to since the last time we talked?
No, I do. I'm here in New York City, Ian, and as you know, Mayor Giuliani has issued these extremely draconian quality of life laws, which supposedly makes the city a better place to live, but frankly, I think he's gone way too far. So I filed this report. There's 9 million people in New York City. You know what that means? Even if you're 1 in a million, there's 8 more of you walking around. That's what used to make it special. You know what it is now? It's Disneyland. All because of Mayor Giuliani's quality of life campaign. One of the most bizarre new laws says that porn shops have to have 60% family-oriented material. Hi, how are you? You sell family-oriented porn, right?
Family-oriented porn?
Yeah, do you have any, like, Dan Quayle videos? Or George Bush sex toys? Here in Central Park, one of the biggest city parks in the world, it's now illegal to have your dog off a leash. So let me get this straight. This is illegal. This, on the other hand, okay. Presumably, an unleashed pet is a threat to citizens. I'm sorry. On the other hand, it's perfectly legal for a Chihuahua to view porn tapes. Another new law makes it a misdemeanor to drink coffee on the subway. On the other hand, this doesn't even raise an eyebrow. Suddenly, consumed with remorse, I decide to give myself up at a local police station. Sir, I'd like to turn myself in. I was letting my dog off the leash in the park, and I was feeding pigeons. Out. Out. Sir, out. Thank you. Yeah, well, thank you. Out. Out. Woo! Well, that was refreshing. It's good to see at least there's a couple of pricks left in New York City. From the quality of life capital of the world, I'm Rich Hall.
What's that, Rich? So what's been the American reaction to the Kosovo crisis over there? Tell me.
Where the hell is it? That's basically the reaction. I think it's important before you attack a country that you actually be able to find it on the map. I reckon it's going to be 9 days to find it, 1 day to bomb it. But the important thing is that this is another big victory for America and its allies. You know, we got Iraq, Somalia, Grenada, and we're going to win in Kosovo. You know, Arsenal has a tougher schedule than that, but we're going to win.
Rich, I'm going to ask you, we're running out of time quickly. What were your thoughts on the Oscars this week?
Well, I was really surprised to see that Saving Private Ryan didn't win Best Picture because traditionally the Best Picture is the one where the most people in the movie suffer and die. You know what I'm saying? Schindler's List, lots of people suffer and die. Titanic, lots of people suffer and die. The English Patient, the audience suffers and dies from boredom. So I'm surprised that Private Ryan didn't win. I would like to do my impression, however, of Nick Nolte at the Oscars. That was it.
Rich Hall, thanks so much for your time. We'll speak to you next week when I'm sure you'll be very, very funny as usual. Rich Hall, ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
The papers today are full of our favourite littlest hobo, the Duchess of York, whose mansion in Surrey has been sold from under her by the Queen. Or as the Sun puts it, Ferg sale. Ferg sale for sale. Nice. But are the papers telling us the whole story? Let's find out what the papers ought to say in our regular feature, What the Papers Ought to Say. The Mirror reports...
The Queen yesterday expressed her deep regret to the Duchess of York after her new home was put up for sale.
What they meant to say was...
The Queen cracked open the bolly, threw a corgi out the window and rode the Duke of Edinburgh around the room whooping, "Ding dong, the witch is gone."
The Telegraph quote Fergie as saying...
It was a very nice, huge home, but I'm afraid I can't afford to keep it.
When what she actually said was...
My TV programme crapped out, my husband's chasing sailors, and the Queen's nicked my house. Shit, I'm going to have to write another budgie book.
The Telegraph go on to quote her describing the Queen as...
A shining little star.
When what Fergie actually meant was...
Bitch.
Hooray! Or should I say, hurrah, Charles! That's what audiences at the posh Royal Opera House will be doing after today's news of the appointment of a new music director at the Royal Opera House. Now, obviously, this is great news. I don't know why, but to help us find out is Ali G with his guide to culture.
Here it is. Every day, zillions of squid is being spent on culture for posh people, many of whom is professional gay lords. I'm talking about opera, ballet, and all the other shit you see on Channel 4. Is this money being wasted? Should it be spent on the hospitals or making sure that there is good quality crack on the streets? I come to find out. Rock it!
Ali in the culture, put a vine out. Ali in the art gallery, Ali in the art gallery.
Big up yourself, Ali.
Ernst England. Good to meet you.
Respect. Okay, all right, well, let's get them out of the way. Sorry, can you get out of the way? Sorry, can you get out of the way? Right, we'll just be with the telly. Yeah, but... sorry, we didn't... Sorry.
Yes, can you get out of the way?
Sorry, sorry.
Who be this cheeky little lady? So this is by Paul Gauguin, so the friend of Van Gogh. It's good.
That's
no?
nice.
It's good.
She look as if she has just been...
I'm not sure. She doesn't look that happy, I don't think.
Maybe she's been taken up the wrong end or something.
What is that? That's part of the door and
Oh, come off it. That's meant to be a door.
It's meant to be flat, you see. That's why it's so new, because it isn't
That's
meant to
rubbish.
have 3 dimensions.
The door is rubbish. I mean, the face is quite good, but that is...
It's just a suggestion of a door. Yeah.
But why couldn't you be asked to do the whole door?
Look at me, now I'm going to meet Jerry Robinson. He'd be the head of Granada and also the head of the Arts Council. Why is the art so, excuse me, French, but crap?
I think art is... There's a huge variety of excellent art in England.
Do you just give money to things that ponces go and see?
No, I think we spread the money pretty evenly across the whole piece.
Do you give money to lessers to teach kids how to do it? To teach kids how to...
lesbians?
Aye.
Well, not that I'm aware of.
Because we saw this thing on Channel 4, this guy drink like a pint of paint or whatever, and then, excuse me French, he shit it out his exit. That can't cost that much. Was that the Arts Council that did that? I think
I lean your brows, what do I know? Me meet some pawns.
Look at this. This is the Royal Opera House. It looked rubbish, don't it? That's why they're spending over 25 billion quid to make it look more like the John Nike Leisure Centre in Bracknell.
So what kind of skill do you need to be an opera singer? Do you have to be able to sing?
Yes, that's the primary requirement.
Is that not racialist? Because it's unfair on people who can't sing. So how many singers do you get up there?
It depends on the individual production.
With full respect, why is so many of them so terribly fat?
They're not all
Is
fat.
it because you is trying to stop discrimination, so you let in a lot of the fatties?
So what is the acoustic like?
It's brilliant.
Wicked.
You're sitting up there, you can hear as well as if you're sitting down there. Try it.
Hear me now, ride the punani, ride the punani. Nice, good acoustic. So, if you want to check out some culture, you can either spend 50 quid on a ticket for a night at the opera, or we can get you a bag of skunk this big. The choice is yours. You got my mobile number, aye? Yes, sir.
Ali G there. Well, that's almost it for tonight, but before we go, just time to bring you our mystery guest competition. Who am I? I'm 80 years of age, I live in Surrey, quite near Russ Abbott, and I've made a lot of people cross. If you think you know who it is, pop the answer on a postcard and send it to the 11 o'clock show, General Pinochet Quiz, P.O. Box 30,002, London, SE1 8WW. Good night.
Good night.